Welcome to the Drastic Results with Tony Harris Taylor show.
To go to another level, you must try to learn and hear something new. So make the change today. So don't procrastinate and see your business grow and change. So check out Drastic Results, yeah, with Tony Harris Taylor. Tony Harris Taylor. Drastic Results, oh yeah, with Tony Harris Taylor. Yeah, yeah.
Hello, everybody. This is Tony Harris Taylor with Drastic Results with Tony Harris Taylor show coming to you today from home. And so I have my very special guest, Miss Caitlin Penny out of Phoenix, Arizona. She's going to come to you and talk to you about branding. But before we go there, I'm going to test my skills with this platform and see if I can share my screen because I have a special invitation for all of you. I'd like to invite you to attend the Next Level Networking for Diversity. The African American NIA franchisees are coming together to put on a networking group, a networking event. It's tonight, Tuesday tonight. So all you got to do is go to bit.ly/NIA Next Level Networking. If you're on my Facebook page, you'll see it there. And I'll put it in the comments as well so that you'll be able to see. But you should show up and you should invite a friend. And we're just going to have a opening talk by Dr. George C. Frazier of the Power Networking Conference, the godfather of networking in Black America. And he's going to open it up, and then we're going to do a little speed networking. And then you're going to hear why you might want to be a Network in Action member. So join us tonight at 5:30 Central Time. You can calculate the time zones for everywhere else and be with us as we talk about how to grow your business through networking. All right. So today we're going to talk branding. Our guest is a branding expert. She's my brand specialist. We'll talk about that as well. And we're going to talk about the power of branding. And everybody knows my word is drastic. You know, two things about me: drastic and red. My color red. And I happen to drive a red car with a red license plate that says, what? Drastic. And just the other day, I got a message from someone I have not seen in 5 years. And she said, Miss Tony, I think I'm in the same building you're in. I just saw a card that said drastic. I went to your website and there was the word. I knew it was you. Yep, that was me. And I had not seen her in 5 years. It was great to catch up. But when you're known by your brand, people don't even have to question, is that you? And I'm grateful that I adopted the word drastic in 2012, and it has stuck for the last 10 years. And people tell me they almost can't hear the word drastic without thinking of me. That's the importance of having a solid brand. So I am going to bring to the stage my friend. She has been a sponsor for 2 of my events. She rebranded me. And today we're going to talk about the importance of branding. And then what if your brand is stale and you're just, you need a new brand? We're going to talk about that as well. So welcome to the stage, my friend, Caitlin Penny. Hey, lady.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for
I am
having me.
I am so good, and thanks for being here. I'm changing my background so I can be on brand. You
Hey,
can see my word right
can you do
there.
that? I was like, I have one too. We'll stick with this for now.
So, Caitlin, tell us who you are and what you do.
Hello. I am Caitlin Penny. I own Copper Theory Creative. We are a full-service branding and marketing agency as of this year, actually. And we offer many online services to optimize your online presence. So messaging and content creation, graphic design and branding, social media, and web.
Wow, you're doing all that now.
All
And
of the
you've
things.
seen just logos. You have grown up as a businesswoman, lady. I'm very proud of you.
It's definitely been a journey.
Well, you're taking drastic steps, if I may coin a phrase myself. So, congratulations. And you are a NIA member.
I
And
am.
I'm very grateful for you joining our National Networkers group.
Well, I'm
Go
grateful for you and the family. So
ahead. So let's just start with the basic question. Why is branding important?
oh, it's so important. So branding is my favorite thing to help anyone out with. And it is important because that is how you get your brand recognized. That is how you create brand recognition, in your case, Red and Drastic. It lets people know what your values are, and it tells them exactly how you can help them. And so the better the branding, the better the outcome in business.
Yeah, and companies, corporations spend millions and millions and millions of dollars on their brand.
Mhm.
And as small business owners, sometimes we don't spend enough time really thinking about the branding overall. You know, a lot of times people think branding is just a logo and a color, but branding's so much more in that than that. Can you say more?
Absolutely. So yes, I would say that the logo is just the tip of the iceberg in this case. It definitely, there definitely is something to say about, first glance recognition. Your first impression. It's definitely important, and it gets people interested. But what happens next is the question. What is your messaging? What is your mission or vision statement? How do you stand out in the marketplace? And it all really comes down to the experience you want your audience to have, and that is your brand.
The experience you want your
And the
audience.
emotions it brings.
And emotions. Okay. Very good. So it is so much more. And one of the things I know you do is you spend a lot of time getting to know the business owner and helping them with their target market. And, you go way beyond just the putting together the colors and the logo. And it's so critical too, when you get the brand. Because once you get a brand, it's difficult to rebrand. And you certainly don't want to rebrand out the gate. And I've seen businesses that launch with a brand and it's like, mm,
I remember when Taco Bell rebranded to purple and everyone lost their minds.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, what is the deal with colors? Since you mentioned purple and Taco Bell, what's the importance of colors for a brand?
So, it all comes down to the psychology behind it, actually. So, color theory is a very important concept that you have to grasp as a brand expert. And that just means learning the identities, positive and negative, for every color. So, in your case, red, it's drastic. You've taken that on and you've taken on that persona. And if I see you in the parking lot with red glasses, your logo, it's all red and it all says drastic. And those are only two tiny things, but then people get to meet you. I've been at your conferences, as you mentioned earlier, and it's exciting. It's drastic is a very bold word, and you are a very bold person, and you live the brand, and that's what's important.
What's interesting about that, I remember going through the exercise 10 years ago, long before I knew you, but going through the exercise to create a brand. And my company name was Rising Star Training Solutions.
Gotcha. Wow.
Rising Star Training Solutions.
Come a long way.
And it was green, lime green, and blue.
Okay.
And that palette never sat well with me. It's so interesting. And I chose the colors based on green is, money and progress, and
Right, right.
um, blue is trust. And
Mhm.
that's why I chose the colors. But then the colors never sat well with me. And I started thinking about the color palette of my life. And
Mm.
honestly, the color palette of my life has been red, black, gold, and silver
Why do you say it's a color palette of your life?
because it's my decor of my houses.
So physically, really.
Physically, the decor of my
Okay.
houses. I use a lot of black. And so when I started thinking about it, I'm like, my color is red. And
Mm.
that's how, and then drastic came shortly after that. And then it all came together.
I would say that drastic is red. I would definitely, it
Yeah,
definitely,
there's no other
yeah,
color more
yeah.
than drastic.
It definitely creates a sense of urgency and excitement, and not in a bad way. Like I said, all colors have positive and negative. I know that we were talking about McDonald's versus a steakhouse the other day, and that just says a lot.
Yeah. So I had you do a rebrand for me
Yes.
because my logo had a little man walking upstairs
Mhm.
and he was making progress. But I was number one, bored with the brand. And number two, I wanted to attract a different crowd. That was more of a corporate almost logo.
Okay.
And so I contracted with you to come up with a new logo for me. So let's talk about the process of rebranding for a business owner.
Okay, so when we also, I mean, we've all many of the people that are watching this show right now are business owners. You've had your business for a while, and while in the beginning, everyone bootstrapped, everyone figured it out. It may not have been the perfect branding, but it got you to where you are now today. When you want to do a rebrand, some of the things that you have to think about is what, well, first off, why? Why are you changing anything to begin with? What's not working? And then, as you mentioned, you weren't talking to the same or to the target market that you wanted to be. So that's a huge red flag. That's my you know me. That's like the thing I talk about all the time, target market. So when you've got to think about why you're changing it, if you have changed products and services or added anything, if you're not talking to the right people. And really, I would go back and look at what your original values were for within the business to start off with, because that will help you out a lot with the rebrand, and especially when appealing to a totally different target market. There are definitely a lot of things that you have to think about within that, and it has to be obvious because your audience has to be on board too. It's not just your decision at this point.
Right, right, right. So what would make, I know you said target market, but like what would make Taco Bell go from the color scheme they had, and even McDonald's, they were red and yellow for a long time, and then they went over to some browns and yellow. What would make a company do that drastic of a change?
Well, I think in Taco Bell's case, they're not the number one fast food restaurant. I would go with McDonald's. And McDonald's, in their case, they added a secondary color palette. So they kept the red and yellow because it's so signature, but then they added other colors like the color of a bun of a burger, like the
Mm.
lettuce. And so if you look at a lot of their internal brand research, it's all very well branded. They talk about the Big Mac and say, what is the bun? What is the lettuce? What is the burger of the business? And they show that physically and um well, physically in the infographics, and then just because it's easy to communicate with their customer base. I'm not really sure what Taco Bell was thinking. No one liked it. That was the general consensus and opinion that it was a terrible idea. Well, here's my thing is right off the bat, I think of what's purple, not many foods. What's blue, not many foods. And the color sits in between that. And really, if it's blue or purple, it's probably moldy.
Yeah, that's
So I
true.
have no idea what happened there.
That's true. Wow. They should have put you on their team. They should have contracted with
Thanks.
you. Taco Bell, if you're watching, contract with Caitlin next time. But she knows, yeah, that those colors are moldy colors.
Mhm. And
So,
sometimes there's a disconnect with that too, and there clearly was in this case. So that's the part that I mentioned earlier of including your customers, seeing what they think, letting them know why this is an important change, making them feel part of the process, because if they don't, they might not understand.
Okay, very good. So let your customers be a part of the process.
Mhm.
Do a advisory board of some sort
Yes.
before you take a drastic change. No pun intended.
Well, at this point too, your brand values and things have changed over a decade, say.
Yeah,
And who hasn't changed over the last 10 years, personal or business? And so
sure.
you've got to take those into consideration, those changes.
So let's talk about me. We went from the man walking up the stairs to what you see now on the screen, the image with the lady with the red lips,
There you go.
the glasses, drastic glass. How did you get there?
I woke up in the middle of the night. I think I text you. We had gone back and forth a couple of times, and the man walking up the stairs, it does definitely give off a corporate feel for things. But also, the one thing that stuck out to me was, from what I know, most of your clientele are women,
Yeah, yeah.
and so that
Not
was
intentional, by the way. I like to work with men.
not
I
at yes,
like
not at
men's
all.
money. Let me say that. But women are the ones who sign up for coaching and
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm. And I mean, when we were going back and forth, I was trying to think. I'm a firm believer that a little bit of you has to be in your business or your logo. I hope a little bit of you is in the business, but in the logo itself, it has to be a little bit of you. Your audience doesn't necessarily have to know that. In this case, it's very obvious. So what I did is I sat and I was like, who is Tony to me? Just what do I see in my head when I close my eyes? And what do I hear? I'm sure you can guess what I'm going for right now. And then, I woke up in the middle of the night. I have a notebook for, you guys probably think I'm crazy, a notebook for ideas for design and
sure,
social media.
sure.
So I write them down anytime they come into my head because they will go right out
Right,
if I
right.
don't. And so I made 3, not just one, versions of this logo for you, and you get to pick the hair and the glasses. And so
She
it's
made,
just like your daily life.
one with poofy curly hair, one with my spiky natural hair, and then this one here with the swoop. We call that the conference hair.
I love the conference hair. One of my
we
favorites.
we didn't go so far as to do braids, but you know what? If I asked her, she
There
would.
you go.
So working with you was super easy. And when you came to me with your inspiration, I just thought, and then the word drastic in the glasses, that was it. So
What?
great job, high five, lady. I love my rebrand. So what do you have working on the horizon? You're saying that you've expanded, so let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I started the business in 2016, but just in the past 6 months, I decided to expand. I really just figured out the client journey and what my audience really wanted and my customer base really wanted after or before they were done working with me. And so I figured out that those services mentioned earlier, content creation, social, and web, were always something that people asked me for. And so instead of saying no, I wanted to be a yes woman. So here I am. And it it worked. It's worked out so well. So Val Vick, I'm sure you guys know her. She is now my language and content creator partner. And then I have a social and web team. And we just really wanted to create the full online optimization. The idea is, well, one, our tagline is go change the world in your own way. So we really need to believe that you're out there trying to make a difference. Those are our clients. That's who we want to work with. I don't want to hear that your business plan is just to make money, because then it might not be as important to you as it is to us.
Mhm.
And if you're out there changing the world, then why are you spending time trying to do all these digital things? Why are you spending 3 hours in Canva trying to design something that I could have done in 15 minutes? We're trying to eliminate the time and money lost in your case of how many contracts you maybe didn't sell today because you're trying to figure out how to make a change on your website. So having knowledge of all of those additional services, I can have the conversation and talk to our potential clients and see if they're a right fit. And then depending on what the project looks like, I either send them to one of my partners, done deal, or we just put a proposal together and we all come together and make that new brand change the best it could possibly be.
Wonderful. I love that. And I love that you're collaborating with Val, who is an NIA member. You met her through the conference. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then, but okay, so let's talk about networking.
Okay.
Not talk about
My
networking.
favorite thing. I mean, your
How
favorite
important was networking to growing your business?
It was very crucial. So back in 2019 was when I quit my day job for the first time and did this 100%. And then I also moved to a new area in Arizona last year, and I realized that I didn't know anyone in the area. So what do? Go online, find events, sign up, show up, and make it happen. And I'm not afraid to walk up to people I don't know in a networking situation. I have good business cards. I'm ready to talk. That's why I'm there. If I'm going to pay to be here, I'm definitely going to talk to you. There's no point in being a wallflower as a business owner. Just go ahead and talk to people. So it's been very crucial. I think I was looking at my calendar last month, and I think I had like 95 things that we did. And so I am a networking fiend. I love it. And it has definitely made me be a resource to the community for speaking, people that you want to know, etc. And then also just creating a connection or a network of people in my area and not letting it go either. Don't forget about it. Check in every once in a while. They're my business friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's how we met. You showed up to a conference and we met at an event, and it's been life-changing.
Right. And you can't, I mean, I don't know how if you don't want to talk to people, I don't know how you can be a business owner. And I know that we have very strong personalities. I realize that, but you've got to make the connections in order to get clients.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, thank you for that. And that's how you found not only clients, but you found your partners,
Yes. Yes.
and you get resources. So many people go networking to find clients, and really, it's just about learning what's out there. You,
Right.
you know, you don't know everything, and so you may learn a different tool, a different resource, and then of course you meet your next business partner.
And then I'm not, there's no reason to be threatened by the people that do the same thing as you. I believe that there's enough work for everyone. And just to your point, there is maybe they know something that you don't.
Yeah, very good. So on your website, you've got an event branding checklist.
Yes.
Yes, so let's take people to your website. Let's go ahead and show your contact information.
Perfect. Thank
Tell them
you.
about this branding checklist they can download.
So so I have a few different checklists, but I was a sponsor at your last event, and it was to build a sub brand. And part of that, while it's not a rebrand, start there. It is definitely a sister or brother to your umbrella brand. And we talked about ways to utilize your sub brand in and out of an event. But in this case, this was an easy checklist of branded products that you can utilize to make sure that you're keeping people's attention.
Awesome, awesome. So go to Copper Theory Creative, and her hair is copper, by the way, and she got a cute little character. But go there and download her free checklist so that you can start with, is your brand on point? And so, Caitlin, are there any final thoughts you want to give to the audience around branding?
Well, if you have any questions or are considering or maybe not even following what we're talking about today, let me know. We can do a quick 30-minute chat about what questions or design opportunities you may be missing, and we'll go from there.
Okay, very good. And so, how can they call you?
Yeah, you can give me a call. That would be my cell phone number down there. You can also shoot me a message on my website, and then my email is hello@coppertheorycreative.com.
Very good. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, Caitlin, I want to thank you for taking time out to talk to the audience about the importance of branding and rebranding, if that's something that you need to do. I tell you, my brand is it's the sauce, secret sauce, if you will, of my business. And it's catchy and people know it. And I want to thank you for breathing new life into my brand with my new logos. So thank you so much for that.
Absolutely.
Awesome, awesome. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you. This is Tony Harris Taylor saying take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Tony Harris,